Hey, I hope this video finds you well. Today we're going to tackle trust issues. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever cheated or been cheated on? I think most of us have experienced at least one, if not both sides of that coin. I know I have, and it's the sort of thing that you can't fully imagine until it's happened to you. Even if you've been both the perpetrator and the victim, it can still be very difficult to keep things in perspective. When someone that you really trusted in the past violates your trust, it can be very painful and very difficult to get over. And if it happens repeatedly, it can severely distort the way you see the world. I'm Nikki Green, a sexual marital therapist, affairs expert, and the co-founder of the Academy of Lasting Love. As Einstein said, the most important question that we can ask ourselves in life is this a friendly universe? What he's basically saying is, are you optimistic about life? The reason that it's such an important question is because we will react to life the way we believe it to be. Very often, people who have been scarred by trust violations come to all new relationships from a place of doubt. Add to that some good old confirmation bias, and they start to develop negative generalizations, believing things like all women will gossip behind your back or all men will eventually cheat. This causes them to tar everyone with the same brush, even those who they could have actually trusted. Obviously, it then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Holding on to negative beliefs like this causes us to contract, and on an energetic level, we resonate at a much lower frequency. Not only does that harm our health, but I really believe that it attracts other low frequency people and experiences into our life, which again is what Einstein was getting at with his question. So if you have trust issues, what can you do to start the process of healing? Well, firstly, you can understand your programming around trust. And that's a part of our relationship blueprint. And you can download it for free in the link attached. And it'll help you understand how your beliefs and experiences subconsciously imprint on you and affect how you relate to others. How you were raised, what your family and culture taught you about fidelity, and your experience of it so far all go towards creating your current reality. I'll never forget my client Peter, who was cheating on his wife. He came in to see me because he was exhausted and racked with guilt. And he knew that he was risking losing his beautiful family, who he loved very much. And it was all for a couple of women that he wasn't really even that keen about. So after some digging, he realized that he was so resentful towards his wife, who for the first 5 years of their marriage had constantly doubted and falsely accused him of being interested in other women. He'd always thought of himself as a man of integrity. But since she'd been busy with their 2 young children and didn't seem as interested in him anymore, he said that he pretty much felt entitled to cheat. And when I asked him why he had 2 women on the go, I will never forget his answer as long as I live. He said he'd rather be hung for a sheep than a lamb. And this is not an isolated case. After nearly 25 years of specializing in affairs, it's rare to come across a couple in which one of them hasn't been cheated on before or had a family history of infidelity. If we don't repair the past, we'll repeat it. Do you attract partners who cheat on you or friends who betray you? Don't for a minute think that I'm suggesting that it's somehow your fault or that you deserve it. No one does. It's horrible. But I am inviting you to gently ask yourself some questions. Often there's a family culture around trust. It could be that your parents were people who could be counted on to keep their word, or maybe they had the intention to do it, but they didn't have the follow through. Or maybe in your family, trust and honesty weren't really values that they subscribe to. What does your programming around trust look like? Has it contributed in any way to you being let down, either in the past or in a current relationship? Could it do with being re-examined? The next step you can take on your road to healing is to get really good at putting down loving boundaries. This will help you to start to develop some safety in your life, but making the boundaries loving is the key. The thing to remember is that they're loving towards both yourself and your partner. Imagine how different Peter's marriage would have been if his wife had recognized how scarred she'd been by her past. Instead of projecting that on Peter, she could have put down loving boundaries right from the beginning of their relationship. Had she done that, she would have left him pretty quickly if he turned out to be untrustworthy. It doesn't just need to be about an affair, right? People can't hide their lack of integrity for very long. Putting down loving boundaries and being clear about your values and your preferences is how you decide whether someone is trustworthy or not. Can you count on them to keep their word? Do they respect your right to say no? Is there a desire to help you get your needs met? These are all ways to know that someone is worth trusting. Also, committing to stop all codependent, over-functioning, or over-pleasing behavior where you prioritize being of service to others all the time. Stopping that is the best way to stop violating trust in yourself. And it's only when you're able to fully love and respect yourself that others will be able to treat you that way too. Positively asserting yourself by being very clear about your desires and your limits are they're skills that can be learned. And they're skills that I teach in my new course, Love Him or Leave Him, A Woman's Guide to Gratefully Loving or Graciously Leaving Her Man. And there'll be a link to that attached as well, in case you'd like to check it out. So really committing to self-awareness and self-mastery is the key to healing and attracting better treatment for others. Being aware of your negative expectations and how they become a self-fulfilling prophecy is what it's all about. Are you obsessing or ruminating about times in the past where your trust was violated and how it should never have happened or how you should have handled it differently? Are you reliving the pain and keeping the trauma alive by talking to others about it? How is this impacting your ability to stay present? You can only be in one place at a time, right? Life is so precious, and living it fully and gloriously in the present is the best way to heal the past. It also creates a beautiful foundation for the future. Think of how much sweeter our relationships would be if we were all fully present for each other. To just be here now with them, not in the past where they were hobbled by someone's expectations that they would fail, or in our past where somebody failed us. Just to be fully present with them and show them, maybe for the first time in their lives, that someone really has faith in them. Faith that they'll be able to live up to your hopes and fulfill your desires. Because your requests are clear and respectful, and your limits are firm yet loving. What a wonderful gift to give someone. In my practice, I have met 1,000 people like Peter. People who aspire to act with integrity, but they just need someone else to have faith in them. Someone who's skilled enough to gently challenge them with loving boundaries when they're not acting authentically. To open-heartedly show them when their behavior isn't congruent with their desire to act with integrity. None of us are perfect. We all need someone to help us grow, don't we? To help us fulfill our honorable intentions. To remind us when we're not acting mindfully, without shaming or humiliating us, so that we can repair, recalibrate, and continue to grow and self-actualize. Anyway, I hope I've given you something to think about today. And if you found it helpful, please do share it on your social media. Together, we can help each other heal. You know that's what I'm all about, if you've been following me for a while, and I hope that you are too. If you're still reading this, you probably are. So please do a sister a favor and forward this on. Until next time, be good to yourself and remember to keep it real.